my gosh, how cool. So I was originally going to do this on Instagram Live, but realized that I can't on my account right now. The feature is not unlocked yet, even though I can schedule it. So that was a little bit, what do you call it? Not as anticipated. So I was supposed to be doing this at 6:30. I am ooh, on my dusty stepper and basically just getting a little bit of movement in the morning before starting the day. So, and there's no one here, so that's why I don't think it's really too, what am I trying to say? It's not like it's high pressure or anything. This morning, though, I did not want to get up. Oh my gosh. I didn't get the best sleep last night. I had some things that came up in the middle of the night that I had to work on. And so I had my alarm come off or go on. And then I was so tempted to just snooze it and go back to sleep because, like I said, no one's really watching this. So it wouldn't really make a difference, but it wasn't really about that. It was mainly for myself. So that's why we're here. And I'm already kind of out of breath. I don't really get a lot of exercise nowadays, especially as much as I should have, but I'm trying to change that. Mostly for me, it's just kind of walking. So if you also have, some exercise and movement that you want to get, I'm join along. So I also realized that I can't really see my clock. That's what I was supposed to use to keep track of time here. So my setup obviously needs help. And my thighs are already burning. But okay, never mind. Let me see if I can fix this. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay, there we go. Okay. Not the most graceful person, that's for sure. Also, definitely took me a bit to get everything all set up. Perfect. 9 o'clock. But yeah. So, a little history, at least with my channel here. Started this last year. Started a few channels actually in the past. Okay. I have so much respect for Richard Simmons nowadays. And any of the like Pilates exercise class instructors, Zumba people, because I don't know how you can talk and keep your breath while also exercising and keeping people motivated. But, so if I stop talking, you know why. But hopefully this will get easier as I go. At least that's the theory. So, anyways, a little history again. The channel here. So it's mainly that last year in 2024 that I started working with a nutritional coach to help kind of get me eating. Okay. Wow, I didn't even last a couple minutes. So that's our starting point. Take a little bit of a short break here just to catch my breath. But so a little bit of history of my channel here. Back in 2024, I was working with a nutritional coach to help just kind of get weight loss going because I've tried so many different things. Like I think a lot of people, you try these weird crash diets, these weird fad diets, and then a lot of times they'll work for, okay, maybe I just won't even do the arms. I'll try the arms again. Okay, so I swear, first one, never going to be great. First time going live, I don't really know what I'm doing, but just decided, why not? What's the worst that could happen? So the worst that could happen is it would take me hours just to get up one story. But in 2024, finally decided, okay, all my weird weight loss things aren't working. I've also gained the most weight I've had in my life after the pandemic. So saw an ad and said, okay, I think it's time to try something else. So I started working with a nutritional coach, and okay, forget it, no arms. And really enjoyed it. It was working really well. And also finally saw results. And also it wasn't really the results that I saw back when I tried losing weight before. Because with that, it was usually drop a lot of weight initially. And then after that, because I was probably kind of starving myself, and that never lasted very long, then I would gain it all back. So this one though, it was still dropping, but it wasn't that hugely drastic drops. It was a lot more stable. And then over time, I worked with her for 6 months. It was really nice because it kind of took my mind off of food for some weird reason. It just worked really well, where I wasn't thinking about food all the time. Because before that, especially because I'm just working from home, I'm so used to just, let's go to the pantry. Let's see what's in the fridge. I don't know how many times I open the fridge door or pantry door in a day. But after working with my coach, and then also after tracking calories, is where things really started to change, which totally makes sense. Because I don't know how you can really optimize or fix something if you're not really understanding what's happening or how much you're intaking. Because obviously I did not know how many calories I was ending up being. And also I was one of those people that could binge eat half a bag, whole bag of chips, a bunch of candy, a bunch of crap, a lot of junk food, feel kind of sick, but then drink some water and think that's going to make it better for some reason, and then do it all again the next day. I'm sweating. Yeah, speaking of water, I don't have any here. Not prepared. So, okay, I gotta take a break. Well, if anything, I think this is helping my cardio, because not just moving, but also having a talk. So, worked with a nutritional coach. Worked really well for 6 months. It was really interesting because I wasn't thinking about food 24/7, that it opened up kind of my brain space, I guess you could say, for other things. So I was a lot more focused on actually other activities and things that I was doing, because I wasn't thinking, what can I eat? What snack do I have? What am I eating for dinner? What can I eat after that? Or what can I have for dessert? Or even what food am I having the next day? So that was really kind of a light bulb moment for me, because this is probably closer to what normal quote unquote, to what your everyday person has, like, their relationship with food, not where they're 24/7 thinking about it, always munching on something. I think I always had something either around to eat, or something I was munching on, or thinking about what I was eating next. So that was really interesting to me, that it was even beyond just kind of the health side, but also it gave me more brain capacity and more focus to do other things. So doing great. It was so nice being able to fit into some clothes again, because some of the clothes I had were getting very tight when I was at my heaviest weight. And then in the mid-year, so June, July, then stopped working with my coach. She had this wonderful video of how to do things from there by yourself, how to transition things over, how to keep continuing on this path. I did not watch it. I don't know why. I think maybe my head got too big. Was it an ego thing? I don't know. But for some reason, I thought, it's fine. I can do it by myself. I don't need to track calories. I don't need to measure anything. I don't need to weigh anything. And I think partially I wanted it to just feel more organic and just something that I could do, day to day, rather than something that I had to kind of work towards, which sounds so stupid. Trust me, I know. It's not very smart. Don't do what I did. Because, of course, after that, weight was okay for a week, and slowly started ticking back up. And sure enough, by maybe fall of last year, or winter, I'm not sure how fast, but then gained all the way back. Big surprise. So here I am, back in my fattest point, my heaviest weight, not happy, thinking, why did I even bother losing weight earlier in the year. What a waste. Very disappointed, myself. It's hard when you make progress and then when you lose it, essentially. And also, it was for such a dumb reason, too. It was just for some reason I was too stubborn to want to continue doing what I was already doing for 6 months and saw success with. So, around the holidays, it's kind of like whatever. It's just out the door. And then January, so I should be better and get back on it. Didn't want to though. February, I was like, okay, I probably should, again, with a little bit more oomph. And then started getting back on it on my own, doing the same plan that I was doing before, but just without a coach. So just by myself. Because in life, having your support system, your coaches, your mentors, anyone around you is fantastic. That's really, a good way, I think, to keep things going. Or kind of getting that inspiration wherever you kind of get most motivated from. But ultimately, it's going to be the choices that you make, or I make, in a sense, about what's going to be kind of the difference maker. If you're, making those bad choices day to day, you're not going to get good results. If you make good choices, good results. Very, very obvious, I know. But for some reason, I didn't want to put in the work. And it wasn't really even work. It was just changing kind of how things were running. So I started doing it again. And now almost 10 pounds down. So I think I started, it was 231 or so. And I'm 5'6", just for reference. And then this morning, since I weigh in for at least kind of the days that I worked with my coach was on Fridays as kind of check-in day. So today would have been for my check-in day. And I was at 222.2. So almost 10 pounds down. Feeling way better now. Because, of course, number going down is great. But the clothes fitting better, just having more energy, that's really, I think, the biggest benefit of all. Because the number, and it's one measurement, like one metric, that can be utilized. But it's not like the end-all be-all. There's way more to it. Your weight can stay the same, but your body composition can change a lot. For me right now, I'm not at that point because it's been just losing weight. So it's mostly going to reflect that on the scale. But there's also been a lot of days. Okay. My goal is to be able to do this for 20, 30 minutes. I thought 30 minutes was going to be easy when I was scheduling this. And first, not take as many breaks. Second, be able to do without breaks while still talking and not sounding like I'm running a marathon. Even though I feel like marathon runners don't even sound like this. But with, weight loss, just on a side note, this didn't come as early last time, but for this past week, there's been 3 days where my weight was within a pound of it, and it kept jumping and dropping. So it was at 233, and then it was like 233.2, and then 233.8, 233.6 or 4. Almost got very frustrated, not gonna lie. And I know this process, so I shouldn't be frustrated, but it's still hard to see when you're doing these things. You kind of expect, to see the numbers going down. But like I told myself before, it's better to look at your weight on a weekly scale instead of on a daily. I think for daily is good for kind of like short-term, very little indicators, but for your longer performance, not performance, it's kind of a weird word to use, the longer kind of reflection, I would say to use weekly, just because with there, you get a better sense of kind of overall. And so those fluctuations, because there's been days where I didn't get very good sleep. My body was just tired the next day, or if I ate too much salt, if I ate very late, and those are most of my calories were, or maybe if, your toilet behaviors, anything you got going on. Maybe you're feeling sick, or the one that all the girls love, maybe it's that time of the month. But all these different factors you can take into account for your weight on a daily basis. So usually looking at a week as you get that data coming through is going to be a little bit more reflective of how things are actually moving. But then yesterday, I finally broke below that 223. So happy. And then now we're in the 222s. So I don't really know how my weight will be next week. but I'm very excited to be back in the 2 teens rather than the 2 20s. So that's where I at least currently am. And I should have brought water. I already said that. I'm treating myself now because I am sweating. This morning it was so cold when I got up out of bed. I thought, I really don't want to do this. But okay, then I think, okay, let's do this. Even though it's 5 minutes late and had to use a different platform, since I can't technically do this on Instagram Live yet. That was my idea, was that I would do Monday morning on YouTube and then Friday mornings on Instagram Live, so that I kind of bookend the week a little bit. So it's almost like starting out the week strong with just some good, a little bit of sweat, a little bit of movement, and then on Friday going into the weekend, and as well as getting a little bit of movement before any other work day, and starting off the weekend strong there. But since Instagram Live can't do that yet, so we'll be on YouTube here. But that's kind of a little bit of background. So that's kind of where things have been for me so far. When I first worked with my coach from 2024, I really didn't focus as, like, really not much on exercise, which of course with like a well-balanced kind of lifestyle, I'd say, is having both that nutrition or that food and also that exercise. Especially as I got older, I realized move it or lose it. But for me, it was mostly that, I can't out-train a bad diet. And also for me, because they're eating 24/7, that was really like my worst part of it, I think. So that's where I wanted to focus on the food first. And then after that was on lock, that was all kind of, what do you call it? I swear, brain doesn't function as well when I'm sweating. But when the food was all kind of settled, then I had the energy to do something else, which was then pick up a little bit more with kind of the exercise side. So me, love walks. I'm a walking girl, not a running girl. I tried running for a little bit. You watch my early videos, didn't end quite so well. At my weight and also running on cement pavement, not a good combination. Knees were not happy. So I stopped doing that. But walking, I'm all for walking. Because for me, just going outside, getting some fresh air, and then also exploring different areas. As long as it's not blazing hot and I'm sweaty, I'm good. So this is kind of the happy medium that I can do inside, especially for days like now when it's raining. And then I can do a stepper indoors. Still working up a sweat. I'm trying to just survive here. Remember the first time that I did this? I did not last long either then. Because let me tell you, when you're sitting on a desk all day, your leg muscles are not there anymore. And then also, back a little bit further, actually back in 2023, that I partially tore my Achilles when I was playing volleyball. And that kind of took me out for a while. Couldn't do a lot of activity. I just remember though that my calf on my right side, because that's where I tore it, it was so skinny after compared to my left. It's crazy because there's just no muscle there, no nothing, because I couldn't use it for so long. I'm just glad I didn't need surgery though. It was just a partial tear, so it wasn't fully ruptured. So it was mainly just, I was in a boot. First I was on crutches, then I was in a boot, and then they kind of walked the heel down, so then it was eventually getting flat, and then from there, limping, all that good stuff, some PT. But oh man, it's a drag doing your normal daily duties when you have an injury like that. One, the bathroom. He's got to go to the bathroom. I think I figure out the crutches to get in there, how to maneuver around the toilet and everything. Two, showers. Has also a feat in itself, making sure I wasn't tripping, slipping, and falling, cracking my head open. And then three was just sleeping because I couldn't sleep on my side. I had to sleep on my back. And I'm usually a side sleeper, so that's also difficult. All right. I think I'm almost at time here. This was a very pathetic first live. I can say that for the very least. But 20 minutes. Next time, I kind of at least know what I'm doing. Next time I'll have water. And also, hopefully, I'll have a little bit better cardiovascular capacity. But I hope you have a good Friday and a good weekend. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.